Monday night softball on Long Island sees a good one from Bill Edwards Stadium. AFP softball featuring the Oklahoma City Spark and the New York Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Hofstra head coach Adrian Clark, I'm John Perez. New York comes into this game after a tough road span. They went 1-5 on the road, Adrian, but there's no place like home.
Yeah, there's no place like home, and there's nothing like being able to play, sleep in your own bed, play in your home field. You know the bounces, you know how it plays, so this should be a really exciting contest. Should be very exciting, especially for New York. They are the only team that has defeated Oklahoma City this year, although the Spark got them back. It was a 3-game sweep over in Oklahoma City. With that said, New York's going to be led by two of their best players in the lineup, Alex Honnold and McKenna Sun, who has been hitting everything that's been put in front of the plate to her. Yeah, Alex has done an incredible job. I mean, clearly she's batting .432 and leading in RBIs, and so and McKenna Smith actually leading in RBIs with 13. And when you have two forces like that in the lineup, there's no telling what can happen. Yeah, not to mention the defense that they bring and the calming presence. McKenna Smith starting at third base last game, but now behind the plate as well, showing off her versatility as Crash McCray looks to get back in the win column after dropping 2 of 3 to the Florida Vibe, and here's his starting 9. Ashley Treeweiler. There's been 13 games this season so far. Treeweiler's got a hit in all of them. Jenna Lair, the local product, bats second. Alex Honnold is in the 3-hole in center field. McKenna Smith in the cleanup spot behind the plate. Sammy Williams, the hero in Game 2 of the homestand a couple of weeks ago, is at third base. Caroline Wong, who was just signed to the team for the final 2 weeks. She is the DP. She bats 6. Lenny Malkin's at first base with Riley Blampede at second base, and Sydney McCray rounds out the order in right field. So that's the Rise. Let's meet Oklahoma City, who many are saying are the best team in the league, and they're playing like it. Only one loss on the year, and they've got not just two of the best players in their lineup. They probably have some of the best semblance of talent amongst anybody on these four. But with that said, let's meet our two impact players tonight, Sydney Sherrill and Yvonne Whaley. Yeah, I mean, these two have been so dynamite this year. Sydney Sherrill being the MVP from last year. I mean, she just brings a different level of intensity and impact to this lineup. And Whaley just, finding ways to make it happen. Oklahoma City is led by Amber Flores. Let's meet their starting lineup as they look to take Game 1 on the road. Tonight, they're 10-2 in night games. Jada Coleman leads things off. She's at first base. Riley Boone's out in left field. Haley Lee behind the plate. Alina Torres in the cleanup spot at second base. Whaley's at short. Kaylani Ricketts was originally the DP. Now she's starting in the circle. Bat 6. Sydney Sherrill's at third base. Chloe Malaulu is out in right field. And Michelle Moultrie, the Florida Gator Hall of Famer, rounds out the lineup for the Oklahoma City Spark. It is the Spark. It is the Rise. Starting lineups and first pitch when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Coaches. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream events. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Bill Edwards Stadium. Double play is ready to go, and before the game starts, Rise fan, at this time we would like to acknowledge and say thank you to Northwell Health, the official healthcare provider for the New York Rise, as well as our other sponsors. Here at Hofstra, New Balance, Wilson, Azuri Transportation, Vincent's Clam Bar of Long Island, Erica Cole Salon, Polsky Sports and Entertainment, Print Station, Pitcher Matrix, and Lululemon. Appreciate all the help and support for women's softball in New York. Rise up. It is the Oklahoma City Spark and the New York Rise, and you could do that, right? A couple backflips?
You know, I used to be able to. Cheerleading was something I did back in the day, but not anymore.
I think, you know what it is? I mean, credit to all of them. They're way more flexible than me, per se. A little added difficulty with the suit on.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
It's got to feel like 200 degrees in there, too.
Easy, easy. We couldn't have asked for better weather today, though.
No, 100%. And, you know, I think the one thing, too, Adrian, and the cool thing about this league is that, and you know this obviously at Purdue and now at Hofstra, there's a lot of softball fans in the Northeast that don't get the opportunity to see players from the SEC, the Big Ten, because in the beginning of the year they're all traveling south, so they don't have a chance to see them in person.
Yep.
I can't imagine how cool this is for 8- and 9-year-olds that are just getting into the game to see some of the heroes live in person.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. You know, there hasn't always been a lot of visibility in this area, and being able to have this, you know, professional team be here and be on our field just makes it so much easier. And when the weather's nicer, you know, who doesn't want to be outside?
Why not? With that said, we'll send it to our public address announcer, Peter Schwartz, for the starting lineups.
Number 3, Keely Rochard. Number 7, Kylie Bailey. Number 9, Casey Hansen. Number 13, Amber Pfizer. Number 15, Rachel Becker. Number 23, Johnny Goldberg. And number 99, Maddie Wenga. And now the starting lineup for Oklahoma City. Leading off, playing first base, number 22, Jada Coleman. Batting second and playing left field, number 0, Riley Boone. Batting third and catching, number 45, Kelly Lee. Batting fourth, playing second base, number 40, Amanda Torres. Batting 10th, the shortstop, number 26, Yvonne Whaley. Batting 6th, the pitcher, number 10, Leilani Rickett. Batting 7th, the third baseman, number 24, Wolfie Sherrill. Batting 8th, the right fielder, number 14, Chloe Valaulu. Batting 9th, the center fielder, number 16, Michelle Moultrie. The head coach for the Spark is Amber Flores, assisted by Alex Flores and Katie Wallace. And now, please welcome your New York Rise. First to reserve. Number 6, Kayla Weddle. Number 8, Mariah Lopez. number 11, Nicole Mendez. Number 19, Ryan Henry. Number 20, Sarah Cornell. Number 24, Lauren Green. Number 29, Bell. And number 42, Kenny White. And now the starting lineup for your New York Rise. Leading off and playing left field, number 50, Ashley Kerweiler. Batting second, the shortstop, number 3, Jenna Baird. Batting third, the center fielder, number 25, Alex Arnold. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 21, McKenna Smith. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 7, Sammy Williams. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 66, Caroline Wong. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 22, Lenny Malkin. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 26, Riley Lampy. Batting ninth, the right fielder, number 99, Kitty McRae. And the pitcher, number 12, Felix Ford. The head coach of the Rise is Crash McCrae. Coach McCrae is assisted by Tony Marie Valeriano and Lisa Ianson. The umpires for tonight's game at first base, Jake Calderano. At third base, John Cambridge. And behind the plate is Alex Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remain standing and remove your hats to honor America and those who protect our freedom with the singing of the national anthem performed tonight by a very special guest. He's performed around the world with the likes of Sarah McLachlan, Indigo Girl, Dido, Joan Osborne, and Beth Hart. He was also an intricate part of the team behind Doris Jones' album, Come Away With Me, which has sold over 27 million records worldwide and won 2 Grammys. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Long Island's very own Eden White from Glen Cove, New York.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets like rubber bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
Eden White from Glen Cove singing the national anthem tonight. And with that said, we have a special guest here to throw out the first pitch. Part of Generation K, Bill Pulsifer to throw out the first pitch. For the New York Rise, last week we had Dwight Gooden. This week it is Bill Pulsifer as well. And we'll talk to Bill later on, but Bill, a 6-year Major League career, as he's being introduced to the crowd right now.
He is also an ambassador for mental health awareness. Rise fans, please give a round of applause to Bill Pulsifer.
just a bit outside.
It's actually harder than it looks.
Yeah, that's what Dwight Gooden was saying last week, and obviously he had no issue on the baseball field, but he said throwing the underhand, it felt natural, but definitely more difficult as well. Luckily for the New York Rise, they have one of the best pitchers in not just the league, but the entire country, and of course one of the best players playing internationally in Japan. That's going to be Jalen Ford. We'll see her in a second as well, but Adrian, when you're going up against a power lineup that Oklahoma City has, as a pitcher, how do you mentally prepare for that? What goes into the game plan?
Yeah, I think it's important to prepare just like you would for any other game, but one thing you have to consider is that your misses have to be misses, right? If you miss over the plate, they're going to attack, and the more that she can stay consistent with hitting her spots, the easier it's going to be for her to manufacture outs and figure out a way to stay on top of them.
Yeah, and she pitched really well against the Florida Vibe in her home start on opening night, which was pretty a neat experience. Went the first 4 innings, all shutout, giving up 4 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. She'll go out there with McKenna Smith, and she's been seen as one of the captains and one of the vocal leaders too. Ford, obviously a decorated career at JMU, one of the best players in JMU history, and now she goes on the mound looking to be what the ace is, a losing streak stopper and to start a new one.
That's right. Yeah, she is so dynamic. She has a lot to offer. Being a lefty gives a little bit of an advantage, but then when you spin the ball the way that she does and you're able to command pitches and hit spots, you can jam up hitters, you can keep them off balance with the change, and she's going to need to bring all of that today.
The one thing that I noticed with her is that she'll shift spots on the rubber, and she'll adapt as the game goes on, and the true hallmarks of a good pitcher. And I know that you've seen her from afar, competed against her. Throw the stats out the window. She is the ultimate competitor.
Absolutely. She has something that, all pitchers kind of aspire to have, and that's a level of confidence and security in what she's doing and how she's doing it. And you can just tell that she's a leader on the field. I mean, I remember the first game when I came and I watched her and I said, wow, she's even better than I remember her being, having been in the dugout, competing against her back when she was at JMU.
Yeah, just what a great career. She's had, obviously, playing professionally for Honda Reverta in the Japanese Softball League, also for USSA Pride and the Akron Racers, leading Team USA to the 2022 World Games gold medal and Canada Cup championship. As it'll be Jada Coleman to lead things off for the Spark, and this is a Spark team that, no pun intended, can really light up the lineup, and an electrifying team led by Jada Coleman. And the first pitch at 7:03 p.m. Eastern misses inside for ball 1. We're underway. Jada Coleman from the Colony in Texas, one of 7 Oklahoma Sooners on this OKC team. Takes down low. It's 2-0.
Yeah, you can just see she's ready to hit every pitch, and that's something that Oklahoma is about, and what they profess is you're ready to hit until you're not.
It was a sweep for the Spark last week as Coleman takes the down-and-in changeup, and 3 straight out of the zone for Ford. It was a 3-2 Spark win, 7-0, and then 3-0. That was a shortened game in Game 3 with the Thunder and Lightning coming, and 4 straight out of the zone, and Coleman is aboard. So 1 up, 1 on, and now here's Riley Boone. And I know we were talking about her off camera. You're really excited to see Riley Boone in person.
Oh my gosh, so excited. She just, the level of energy and intensity to which she plays with is so impressive.
Ball dips inside, 1-0.
This is a little uncharacteristic of a start for Jalen. She usually comes out and attacks the zone early on. I'm a little surprised that she has gotten a little behind in the count here.
And there's her first strike of the night, and something that she needed desperately, especially against a player like Boone, hitting .349 on the year with 3 extra base hits, 4 RBIs. Oklahoma Sooner from 2020 to 2023. And darts outside, 2-1. You've been around softball for a long time. Can you remember the last time there was a team as dominant as Oklahoma?
No, I can't. I think they have just, totally made a new name for themselves, right? They're so dynamic. They're so powerful. They are so good in every facet of the game, whether it's on the mound, in the field, or offensively.
So McKenna Smith going out there to get on the same page with Jalen Ford, who's behind the count 2-1. Chopped on the ground at first. Treeweiler's up with it. Goes to second for one. Laird the turn. Not in time. Would have been tough to double up Boone with her speed, but the Rye's getting out. And a queen size out number 1, and that'll bring up Haley Lee.
Number 45, Haley Lee.
Yeah, that was a great job getting the lead out. You know, you're definitely not going to be able to, or highly unlikely to turn 2 on that play, but being able to secure the lead out is going to keep this in a position to let Jalen Ford, find her zone and be able to work herself out of it. Maybe get herself a double play.
Here is another Sooner, Haley Lee from Kingwood, Texas. 4 home runs, 12 RBIs on the season. She's hitting .333. Takes low and away, and ahead in the count, 2-0. An Oklahoma City team top to bottom that is stacked. And good plate discipline as well. It's 3-0.
Yeah, again, not surprised with the plate discipline, right? And when you have the start of a lineup the way that the Spark do, it makes it hard to, be able to find the zone to get them to chase at something, right? They're very unlikely to chase at balls.
And swinging on 3-0, and sure, obviously, as a coach, there are certain players out there that get the green light on 3-0.
Yeah, she's definitely one of them, right? Like, she's hitting in the 3 spot. She's one that you see a good pitch, you hit a good pitch.
Another good pitch upcoming. 3-1 upstairs, ball 4. So 2 of the first 3 batters reach base via the walk. Boone goes over to second. Haley Lee on at first, and now it's Alina Torres, the second baseman.
Second baseman, number 40, Alina Torres.
So on a muggy night, a little difficulty with control for Ford.
Yeah, it's nice to see her go to her off speed there. It's a pitch that she's got to be able to utilize and utilize often, especially against these hitters.
Torres from Glendale, Arizona, takes low, 1-1, and is that something where if you're a pitcher, you want to self-correct right away? Do you try and go through the inning with your rise, your fastball, or is that something that you want to nip in the bud right away?
Yeah, I think it's something you want to get after right away if you're falling behind in counts, right? Like, know that you have another pitch to be able to utilize that's going to keep hitters off balance. The deception is going to be there, and when you're talking about these hitters, if you're not deceiving them with any sort of off speed or change, you're left to only fast stuff.
Flattens to short. Laird's up with it, slings it to first, 2 outs. So a productive out for Torres at that as Boone goes over to third and Lee up to second on the 6-3 putout, and that'll bring up Yvonne Whaley.
That was a big out right there. Being able to jam up the hitter the way that she did and force a routine ground ball, that was very nice.
And so here's one of the players that we featured in the Open. Not a Boomer Sooner, but a Pittsburgh Panther as well. And she takes inside. Count 1-0. Whaley grew up in Houston. 2023 All-ACC first-teamer and 2023 NFCA All-Region first-teamer. Runners on second and third and 2 down. Scoreless top of the first. Big wave and a miss, 1-1.
That's the pitch I'm talking about right there, right? She's got to go to it a little bit earlier, a little bit often. But she's starting to find her zone a little bit. If you watch, her pitches are closer to, being those borderline strikes that you're looking to get.
Ford gets the sign, the 1-1. 2-1.
One thing I've noticed a little bit is Ford's pace at the very beginning of this game was very, very fast. She's someone that's usually in control of that. I think if she slows her pace down in between pitches and just takes that little extra half second, I think it's going to help her find the zone a little bit better.
So 3 balls and 1 strike. Riley Boone's at third. Haley Lee's at second. Kaylani Ricketts, the starting pitcher, would be next. Check swing, but it's in there anyway, and the count is full. Could imagine the huge mental advantage for Laird if she could get out of this unscathed. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rock of the Fire. Inside, ball 4.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of frustration there. She's working really hard. She's trying to hit some spots. Not always getting the call you want. I think it goes kind of both ways sometimes. Sometimes it works in the advantage for the pitcher if she turns around and just continues to attack. I also think it could get in the way of her, being able to kind of figure out how to get outs here.
Trying to read body language here as Ford and Smith, and obviously talking to the home plate umpire as well. And Ford, the veteran, just trying to ask where the strike zone is.
Yeah, I think this is tough, right? Umpire zones are always so variable, so different, and finding the umpire zone in a game can be challenging, right? Especially in the first inning. And as pitchers, as players, we have to work really hard to not let the emotions of not getting the calls affect us, so that we can continue to figure it out, right?
Rodney McCray getting his 2 cents in there as well. 3 walks in the first inning for Jalen Ford. Base is full of spark. Top of the first, and here's Kaylani Ricketts, a 2-time USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. And she takes high, count 1-0.
It's fun seeing like a veteran versus a veteran, right? Like these two have been competing after it for a while now.
And Ford pours in a strike. It's 1-1. Well, they were both in college around the same time. Ricketts, of course, her best years in 2012 and 13, leading Oklahoma to a national championship. And it's pumped foul. 1-2.
Yeah, she's in a great spot here to, hopefully roll out an out here, or even a fly ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded, scoreless, top 1. Ford rocks and fires. Inside, 2-2.
Little low. I love that spot, though. I love that she's continuing to try to pound inside.
Two coming. Inside again, and the count's full. Been a little difficult on that inside corner for Ford.
Yeah.
See if she goes that way again. Here comes a payoff pitch. Just inside, ball 4.
Just missed.
And she walked in a run. So Boone comes in to score, Lee to third, and Whaley up to second. Let's take another look at this ball 4 call.
Yeah, just a little bit too inside. I love the height. I love that she's pounding it there. She's just not quite getting any borderline call right now.
Sydney Sherrill is the 7th batter to step up to the plate against Jalen Ford. And Sherrill, the MVP from last year from Moore, Oklahoma, went to Florida State and was the Defensive Player of the Year as well, getting the start at third base today. And behind in the count, 0-2. Now home plate umpire coming out and talking to Ford, pointing at her, and Ford's been pretty vocal with the home plate umpire, and now McCray comes out there to try and calm down Ford.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I've never really seen this in a game before. And I would say that it's more likely to happen at the professional level than at our level.
0-2's inside, 1-2. Well, you're right with the professional ranks. I can't imagine too many college and high school umpires are allowing that as well.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not.
1-2 fouled away.
She was more on time for that pitch. I would love if she went with a changeup here to try to mix things up and get her out of this inning. Keep it low, though.
Yeah, a changeup was working on the outer half, at least to lefties. And now Amber Flores will bring her entire base runners over as well. I'll have you put your coach's hat on, as it always is. What is Amber Flores telling her team?
Yeah, I think she's just telling them to be patient, stick to their process, let whatever is happening on the field sort of happen and just zone into one pitch at a time and get something you can hit.
Cheryl was a thorn in the side against New York last week. She went 3 for 7 with a home run, and Ford trying to keep it a 1-0 game. 1-2 on the way. Just inside. 2-2.
That was a great spot. That was a great pitch. Just missed.
2-2. That's low and away, ball 3. Cheryl thought it was ball 4. I'm sure Jalen Ford thinks something else.
Yes, absolutely.
Another full count. Already 4 walks in the inning for Ford. Payoff pitch. Foul back.
Good job. Way to battle by both people, Ford and Cheryl.
Ford on the same page with Smith. The 3-2. That's flicked down the left field line, foul. Trouble written all over it, but curled foul, and will stay 1-0.
Yeah, that was a really great spot. You could see Cheryl as she was starting to lunge forward and kind of throw her hands at that pitch, unsure of whether or not it was going to be a strike or a ball.
Three-two. Popped up, shallow center, and right there is Jenna Laird on the edge of the infield grass. And the inning is over. But Oklahoma City leaves them loaded. They score a run, and after a half inning of play, it's Oklahoma City 1, New York coming to bat on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium. It's a 1-0 lead for the Oklahoma City Spark. And as we go to the bottom of the first inning, we are pleased to be joined by Bill Pulsifer, 6-year Major League pitcher. Part of Generation K throughout the first pitch, and you were just joking off the air. Had a good bullpen, but when it came time for first pitch,
that wasn't very good. That wasn't very good at all. I think I wasted all my bullets in the bullpen trying to get ready. But I couldn't tell you the last time I threw a ball underhand like that. So it was a pleasure to be here, but that was not a good pitch.
That's all right. Well, wiping it away, what have you thought of the atmosphere here so far, especially for this softball community?
I think it's great, man. We got a packed house here. You know, the young girls are here. Obviously, the young girl softball players seeing the women play, and I know that these girls are all. I hate to say girls because they're all women now. I sound silly, but I think it's great. You know, I know that they got a big talent here, and I think it's a tremendous atmosphere.
And, you know, for you too. I know obviously you didn't grow up here, but you grew up here professionally, and then obviously stints with the Mets and then the Long Island Ducks. For you as a Long Islander, or now a indoctrinated Long Islander, how has that been? What has it been like to settle roots here and obviously keep the Pulsifer legacy going on Long Island?
Well, my wife is originally from Long Island, so it was kind of a natural move for us to come up here. I'm a New Yorker now. You know, I grew up in Northern Virginia. My young life, I was all over the world with my father being in the military. But I'm a Long Islander. I love Long Island. I prefer it a little further out east, but you know what? I travel all back and forth throughout the island.
And, you know, that's one of the cool things, too. Obviously, you know, training out there in Bellport and obviously having that resume with young players and getting to know them. I know that you're a huge advocate for mental health and obviously what goes on in between the ears for some of these young players. With all the experience that you have, what's your number one message, I guess, to this younger generation looking to maybe not play professionally, but, you know, level up their game and play at the highest level they can?
Well, for me, the number one thing is kind of being aware of what's going on and don't try to deny when you feel like you're feeling different or you know that you're going through some things. You know, we all go through things. It's just a matter of how strong it is at any certain time. You know, and anything with a spectrum, you can be degrees from 1 degree all the way to, you know, 110. But I would say be aware of it and don't be afraid to say something about it. You know, that's one of the things that it's not, and especially in my day, it wasn't talked about. But there's ways of that you can get assistance and you can get help and you can battle depression, you can battle anxiety, and you can do things to make it better. I think that denial is probably the worst thing to do. I think that if you feel like you're feeling something, then you should let somebody know, and then there's ways that you can go about helping yourself out.
Yeah, and Adrian, I'd imagine as the head coach of Hofstra too, obviously you're dealing with teenagers when you first meet them to an older level. Like, the game has certainly changed over the last 15, 20 years, and definitely how people approach the mental game as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important to talk about it, and it's so great that you're making such an impact doing this. Quick question for you, like, what would you say to these athletes? Like, how important is it building those relationships with them, and then how do you create that safe environment where they do feel comfortable sharing?
Oh, I think for me personally, when I deal with young players and that, I kind of let them know that the things that I kind of went through in my career, and that it's not abnormal for you to feel the anxiety of being out there on the ball field, even in life in general. You know, that life is tough and life is hard, and things don't always go your way. So, and we all have serotonin in our brain, and it all fires different ways for different people. But, you know, the doctors do a tremendous job of their research of ways of going about helping people out. I just try to make people feel comfortable about it, to say that, you know what, if you ever have an issue, you can talk with me, because I know what it's like to stand out there on the mound and feel like you have no idea where the ball's going, or you know, sitting there and feel like the walls are closing in when you're struggling. So I just try to make people feel like they're not the only one that goes through these types of things.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Jenna Laird's at the plate after Ashley Trewiler ground out. Jenna Laird, a local product from Long Island, went to Mizzou, and one thing that, you know, I know everyone this is hit on the ground at first, and Jada Coleman gobbles it up 2 away. I'll ask you quickly here, you know, there are some players out there that have had, you know, I know you were a military son and growing up in different areas around the world, but, you know, for some players out there that, you know, are also bouncing around and, you know, whether for different circumstances, different environments, what would you say for them to try and create, I guess, maybe a home mentally and try and have that rock base to stay stable?
I mean, obviously, wherever if you're playing, if we're talking about playing, wherever you're home, that's where you're at. You like to try to ingrain yourself a little bit into the area that you're at, know some places to be away from the field instead of everything always being at the field. But for me, if you're looking to be an athlete, whether it be softball, baseball, basketball, whatever, I think that you need to embrace the grind, that you're not going to be in one place, that you are going to be moving around. And if it's not for you, then maybe that's not for you. Again, having your teammates, being your friends, be in a group, stay together, you know, everybody's pulling in the same direction and trying to accomplish the same types of things. So I think the more that you can have more people involved, the better. But you got to embrace the grind. If these women out here are going to try to play pro ball, they're going to be traveling, and I say the same thing for the guys trying to do independent league baseball or play professional baseball. It's not all it's cracked up to be all the time. There's a lot of travel that's involved to it. There's a lot of stress that's involved to it. You just got to try to embrace it.
All right, well, you kind of segued into my next one. Your son Liam obviously played at Queens College, now playing for the Long Island Ducks. One thing that I noticed is that both of your sons, the initials LHP, did you know that they were going to be lefties as that's hit into center field and Alex Honnold is on with a 2-out single? So you've got, correct me if I'm wrong, so it's Liam Hayden.
Yes.
And
Leighton Hale.
Right.
Leighton Hale, yes.
How did you mold them into left-handed pitchers? Is this just luck?
Well, one of them was a left-handed pitcher. Liam's a left-handed pitcher. Leighton was a middle infielder, a right-handed thrower, second base shortstop type. And I didn't mold Liam into a left-handed pitcher. He's a left-handed pitcher. Luckily, left-handedness runs in my family. My wife's father is left-handed. My mother was left-handed. We have left-handed in our family, so that wasn't I wasn't one of those fathers that tied the kid's arm behind the back to make him a lefty. And believe it or not, I've seen that with a few of the parents that I give lessons to, and you can usually pick it out after 2 or 3 lessons that's probably not their hand they originally threw with. But the LHP came about because at the time when they were being born, I was kind of in and out of baseball a little bit, and I just kind of wanted them to have the lineage of knowing who their father was and what their father did.
So when Leighton, you noticed that he was a right-hander, there was never a chance to change his name or anything or change the initial?
No. The LHP is just a left-handed pitcher thing, and it's actually become wow.
Oh.
Almost a nice play down the line.
I hope she's all right.
Spilling over.
That's a heck of an effort. That is one heck of an effort right there.
That's the thing you're going to see from her. You're going to see her literally run through a wall to catch a ball.
Did.
Yes.
That's awesome. No, the LHP thing was kind of a little bit predetermined, and I like it. Roger Clemens has got all his kids named with a K, and right. I'm not quite Roger Clemens, but I've got my 2 sons are LHP.
I think it's great.
Thank you.
You're not. I think it's great overall. So the count 2-2 now to McKenna Smith, who's been one of the best hitters for the Rise so far, trying to keep this thing going. Just want to see where the inning goes. And
yes, sir.
But it's hit in the air out
drops.
To right center field. Moultrie is there, and she'll make the catch, and the inning is over. Bill Pulsifer, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for the time, and good luck with everything going forward.
Best of luck here. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you. Very nice meeting you.
That's Bill Pulsifer. We'll go on to the second inning on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. Welcome back. Top of the second inning, Jalen Ford trying to shake off what happened in the first inning, and Adrian Clark, 4 walks, a lot of close pitches. And as a pitcher, I know it's frustrating, but when she comes back into the dugout as a coach, are there words exchanged with her? Do you let her figure it out on her own? What's the...
Yeah, I think you give her a second to just kind of take some deep breaths and to lower the blood pressure. And then after that, you have just a very logical conversation. In times like that, pitchers tend to respond best when you're direct with your feedback and you're honest, right? Like, hey, the umpire wasn't giving you what you wanted. However, you threw some really great pitches. Keep working to attack the zone and attack early.
It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Spark. Chloe Malaulu from the right fielder, and then Michelle Moultrie, and then top of the order, Jada Coleman, almost making a nice play, a la Ike Davis down the right field line, tumbling over, but unfortunately not enough real estate. As the first pitch misses down and in, 1-0.
I would love to see Jalen use more of her changeup, earlier in the counts here and often.
Well, there was a changeup.
It's like she's getting my vibe.
Sure, as a coach, you would love to have a competitor like her.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
2-0 pitch, smack down the right field line, and goes out of play. Malaulu from Long Beach, California, played her college ball at Mississippi State and wore out New York pitching last week. Went 3 for 5 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Playing for Mississippi State from 2019 to 2023.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to tell people from California that we also have a Long Beach, New York here. Little different in beaches, but still the same vibe.
I agree. There's a beach. The weather is, well, we got winter out here if you are into seasons.
That's right.
For Long Beach.
Oh, right off the glove there. Oh, she's so close to having it. I think if she just kept moving with the ball with her feet, she would have totally had that ball.
And so Malaulu is on with a leadoff single.
Center fielder, number 16, Michelle Moultrie.
So here's Michelle Moultrie, former Florida Gator from Jacksonville, Florida. Lefty-lefty matchup, and take strike one.
Yeah, you know, I don't know exactly how many years I've been watching her play, but this is something. I mean, when you have the level of expertise to which she has for the amount of years she's been playing and coaching, it only helps you become a better ball player.
Shows bunt and pulls back. She's hitting 171 this year with a 1 home run and 3 RBIs, but 4-time World Cup of Softball gold medalist, was a member of the United States women's national team every year since 2012, and named the 2017 USA Softball Female Athlete of the Year. And how about this? Was a walk-on at Florida.
I mean,
now she's a Hall of Famer.
That's incredible. You know, anytime you can go and you put your head down, you grind, and you work hard to learn and grow, really amazing things happen.
Smith has to come out from behind the plate, whips it over to first, not in time.
Ooh. That was a close one.
Close by a hair, and those are the wheels of Moultrie that everybody down in Gainesville loves as she legs out an infield single. And so the Spark have the first 2 hitters aboard. We'll take another look.
Ooh, yeah, that was real close. She almost had the out there. You know, those are tough balls to field anytime they're kind of like the swinging bunt, right? It's really hard to decide what's happening there.
Now back to the top of the order as Jada Coleman takes a strike. 0-1. She reached on a walk and was thrown out on a fielder's choice. It was first base umpire John Cambridge saying that Moultrie got in ahead of the throw.
I also love how quick Smith is behind the plate there. She didn't hesitate. She saw that ball, but with a little bit of a high chop, it made it hard for her to be able to get that out. And that's the thing. You can't make you can't miss it by just a little bit, right? You have to be on it.
0-2 pitch. Setup is outside, 1-2. Well, great speed on the base paths for the Spark with Malaulu at second and Moultrie at first. And that pitch misses inside.
Ooh, that is a beautiful spot.
And home plate umpire Adam Leap just not giving Ford that inside corner.
Yeah, that one was pretty good spot.
Slam foul into the dugout, almost took out one of our own.
Yeah, and you saw Coleman swing there, a little defensive, right? She wasn't ready to hit that pitch, and it was nice and tight, only allowing her to barely, foul it off.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Pitch. Tapper foul.
Great job. Great job on the mound by Ford. Getting her to lunge out, kind of throw her bat at it. She definitely has the advantage right now.
Ford looking for the strikeout or a ground out here. 2-2. One grounder right back to the mound. Ford uses the glove and flips it to first.
Yeah.
Essentially a swinging bunt moves the runners over to second and third.
Yeah, what a great job there, right? Utilizing that changeup again, keeping her off balance. That's exactly what she needs to keep doing here.
Take another look with Ford, and for those lefties, sometimes it's hard to exchange hands, so you just flip it over yourself.
It is.
Here's Riley Boone, reached on a fielder's choice and came around to score and sprays the first pitch foul, 0-1.
And that's one of the great things about Ford is she fields her position so well, right? She's able to get balls outside of the circle, making it easier for the infielders to have more range.
Well, and speaking of those infielders, they bring the infield in to try cut down the run, especially with Kaylani Ricketts, who we didn't get into in the first inning, but we'll talk about how tough she is to face in the circle. 1-1 in the dirt. Good stop by Smith, 2-1.
Oh. She did a great job of picking that one and keeping it in front. And that's a great timeout called by her, right? In the 2-1 count, you've got runners in scoring position. It's a perfect time to go out there and check in on Jalen, make sure she's in the zone she needs to be in. Maybe even give her a cue of hey, you slowed down a little bit on that one. Stay hard, right? Attack, come straight at the catcher.
Two-one pitch.
Oh.
Popped up, and Ford will take it herself. Two away.
Great spot, right? Like right after the pitch, she knew where the ball was going. She did a nice little drop step. Not all pitchers are capable of doing that.
Here's the defensive alignment for the Rise. Treeweiler, Honnold, and McCray left to right in the outfield. Malkin gets a start at first base. Blampede, Laird, Sammy Williams at third. Smith behind the plate, and Jalen Ford on the mound. And Haley Lee at the plate. And takes low, 1-0. Lee, one of the 4 walks in the first inning. Ford doing a good job of getting out of it with just giving up the 1 run. But now misses high. 2 balls and no strikes. And a base open, but the cleanup hitter, Alina Torres, is on deck, and that's smacked into left field. It's a base hit. Malaulu comes in to score. Ashley Treeweiler picks it up, flips it into second as Moultrie comes in to score. It's a 2 RBI single for Haley Lee, and that gives the Spark a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, that pitch was left just a little too good. I mean, she got a lot of barrel on that and hit it pretty hard. You see Laird give everything she has to try to get that ball and just not quite tall enough.
Check that, the RBI double, as that brings in Malaulu and Moultrie in a 3-0 Spark lead. And here's Alina Torres ahead in the count, 1-0. Well, Adrian, you could see the consequences of Ford, who likes to live on the corners and nibbles, and when she's not getting the call, you have to throw it right down the pipe, and Oklahoma City will make you pay.
That's right.
Lena Torres grounded out the shorter first time up, 0 for 1. Right ahead in the count, 2-1. Now 3-1.
Oh, that's a good spot. That's a good idea with that pitch.
A run in the first, 2 in the second, a 3-0 lead for OKC.
That's a great spot right there. She just needs to continue to thread that needle and hit spots like that. And if she does, she's going to be able to generate outs.
Payoff pitch. That's high, ball 4. 5th walk of the evening issued by Ford. And now runners on first and second for Yvonne Whaley.
Yeah, and this is uncharacteristic for Ford. She is usually so in control and commanding her pitches. I'm surprised to see that she has 5 walks so far in the game, but she is a competitor. She's a fierce competitor, so I do think she's gonna figure some things out here.
And that pitch misses inside, and you can see the reaction from Ford. Not getting the call from Adam Leap. Behind in the count for ball one. And 2-0.
Yeah, she's fighting hard out there.
Comes home with a 2-0. Flicked foul. 2-1. Tough sledding so far for Ford. Behind a lot more hitters than she bargained for. 2-2.
Yeah, that's a beautiful spot. You know, she just needs to rely on her defense a little bit. You know, throw some pitches, let the defense be able to make the plays for her. You know, the Rise have a very dynamic defense of what they're capable of doing, and I think if she just kind of like relies on her teammates here a little bit, she'll find this a little easier to adjust.
Well, that pitch missed on the inner half, so another full count. 3-2, runners go, hit right back to the mound, and Ford will record all 3 outs herself to end the inning. But a 2 RBI double by Haley Lee makes it 3-0 through 1.5 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Doc Ginn, and you're watching the New York Rise.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium, and like we mentioned, of course, Long Island now has a professional softball team, and it's got to be great for all the young softball players out there to get an opportunity to see their heroes who they watch on TV every night, now getting to see them in person. And what better time than summer, right?
Oh, yeah, this is the best time ever, right? Spend all day at the pool or the beach and then come here at night. There's nothing better.
I'm jealous. I wish that there was a local team, at least where I grew up, that you could go to games every night. But either way, that's a great experience for a lot of these young fans.
Oh, absolutely. And you can just see the excitement. I mean, these cheers, being able to watch these women play, I mean, there's nothing more inspirational.
Well, we didn't get a chance to meet our starting pitcher, and that was Kaylani Ricketts, who threw a scoreless frame in the first. And, of course, if you know Michelle Moultrie, you know Kaylani Ricketts, and you know some of the names, of course, on this roster. But Ricketts represented Team USA in 2011 and 2019, the Pan American Games. 4-0 this year, a 1.50 ERA. Look at the walk-to-strikeout ratio, 6 walks to 18 strikeouts. She can really fill it up, and she's not just a thrower. She can go up, down, left, and right. One of the better masters of her crafts as she throws ball one.
Oh, absolutely. She is so dynamic. She's got some speed behind what she does. She keeps hitters off balance, and she just has this mound presence that's is so dominant.
Sammy Williams lines out to Alina Torres, one away. Here's the defensive alignment. You just saw Torres. Let's meet the rest of the infield. Jada Coleman at first, Yvonne Whaley at short, Sydney Sherrills at third base, Riley Boone out in left, Michelle Moultrie in center, and Chloe Malaulu in right field with Haley Lee behind the plate and Ricketts in the circle. Well, here's Caroline Wong, just signed with the team today, flew into New York this morning, and now into the starting lineup. A natural catcher, but hitting in the 6 hole. She's the DP. Out of Oklahoma State, NFCA third-team All-American. Played at Liberty before becoming a Cowgirl at Oklahoma State, where she won the 2022 ASUN Player of the Year. That's one of the cool things about these 4 teams is that with the amount of talent that's out there, imagine picking up a free agent that had a decorated career.
Oh yeah, and I would argue that there's so many free agents out there, right? Like I'm so excited for this league because it's giving so many opportunities for athletes to be able to continue playing their career, the game they love, in the same way that other professional leagues are. And so I'm just excited for it to continue to grow and expand so that more athletes can get that opportunity.
Yeah, the way it is right now is you've got obviously the Rise here in New York, but the other 3 teams are in the South, Oklahoma, the Chattanooga Steam, and then the Florida Vibe, as Wong tops it foul, third base side. But you're hoping that you could get a Northeast circuit or even teams in the DMV area and make that travel a little bit easier for the Rise and obviously the other teams.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much powerful softball throughout this country. California being like a mecca, Texas being a mecca, Florida, we have the vibe. So many opportunities for growth.
And Caroline Wong in her first at-bat gets a single to right center field, and she's on with a 1-out hit.
I loved how calm she stayed in that 1-2 count. She was unfazed. She was swinging at good pitches, and she was swinging hard. And when you do that with someone like Kalani on the mound, the ball's going to go, right? It's going to find a hole.
Going to bring up Linny Malkin, the first baseman. Malkin hitting 167 on the year, but has some power and drives it out to right field on the first pitch from Malaulu. Angles over and hauls it in. 2 away.
Second baseman, number 26.
So bring up Riley Blampede.
Early in the game, you really want to see your hitter stay on the attack, work to get a good pitch to hit, but be ready to hit, right? When you see a pitch that's over the plate or something you can handle, you want to be able to attack. She just missed that.
Pitch hits on the inside corner to Blampede. 0-1. Blampede from Cordell, Georgia. Went to South Carolina. 185 on the season. And the count even at a ball and a strike. One. Wave and a miss. 1-2. Ricketts just trying to get through 2. Scoreless inning. She's a strike away. The pitch. Wave and a miss. Struck her out. And the inning is over. So she works around the 1-out single. 2 scoreless frames for Kaylani Ricketts. Going to the third on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
3-0 the lead for the Oklahoma City Spark. Top of the third inning, double play, throwing out some dogs to the crowd. I know I had my hands out, Adrian as well, but for the spectators. But a 3-0 lead as Jalen Ford goes back to the mound, and through her first 2 innings, it hasn't been exactly how she has wanted, but now her mental approach going into the third inning, facing the order for the second time.
Yeah, I think she's got to go out there and really just rely on her teammates around her. Let the hitters put the ball in play. Let's see what the defense can do. I think the more she can do that, instead of trying to carry the weight on her own shoulders, it's going to be a little bit easier for her to adjust.
The 6, 7, 8 due up in the Spark lineup. Kaylani Ricketts, Sydney Sherrill, and Chloe Malaulu. Jalen Ford, 3 runs on 3 hits in 2 innings of work, 5 walks. The marquee was a 2 RBI double by Haley Lee in the second. And behind in the count for ball 1 to Ricketts. And now 1-1.
That's a great spot. And I know we keep talking about that she's already had 5 walks so far, and we're just in the top of the third, but for her to only have a score of 3-0 is also pretty impressive. When the leadoff walk gets on, or the leadoff batter gets on by a walk, it's the statistical chance of them scoring is incredibly high.
Right. And that's the one thing that, she's trying to work on, had pinpoint control in her last home start. Obviously a little bit different against a team that's very patient like Oklahoma City. There's a wave and a miss on a down and in changeup for strike 3.
That's the pitch she's been trying to get those swings and misses on, but the problem is she wasn't ahead in the count, right? When you're ahead in the count, you're going to get those swings and misses, but when you're constantly working behind, it makes it so much harder to get them to bite at something a little out of the zone.
Sydney Sherrill 0 for 1 on the day. She popped out to short her first time up. Count 1-0. Sherrill from Florida State finished her career as one of the most decorated Seminoles in school history. No one has played more games than Sydney Sherrill for the Seminoles, and with 283 ranks 10th in FSU history by hitting .352. And cracks us to deep left center field. Hano going back, cannot make the catch, pops out of her glove. And Sherrill is on.
The ball hit incredibly hard. Holland did a great job out there of tracking it down and just couldn't quite keep it in her glove.
Yeah, let's see here. And into the gap, Honnold.
Oh, it just caught the edge of her glove where her hand is.
Looks like they'll rule it a hit. So Sherrill's aboard with the extra base hit for her. That's her second double of the year. And one that Honnold wishes she had back. As here's Chloe Malaulu. An infield single the first time up.
Smith continuing to, get in Jalen's ear, and your really elite catchers are keeping a thumb on the pulse of the game and how it's progressing and what the pitcher needs. Every pitcher is a little bit different, and I think these conversations are really helping Jalen continue to, command her pitches.
Yeah, Smith has encapsulated everything that you would want out of your catcher, from being that vocal leader to being comic relief at times, and everybody's different, right? It's different ways to reach different players, and Smith has navigated that beautifully, even though she hasn't played with most of them at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about, really elite catchers is you don't have to always play with your opponent. If you are paying attention to how the game is developed, if you're paying attention to, okay, she had runners on second and third and got to a 2-1 count, like those sorts of situations, when you see time and time again, you recognize, wait, I've been here before, this is what I need to do here.
And pitch just missing to Malaulu, and the count's 2-1. Line to right, down for a base hit. McCray covers over. Sherrill rounds third. The throw to the plate is up the line. Sherrill slides in. An RBI single for Chloe Malaulu makes it 4-0 Spark.
She got a great piece of that ball, but I was also really impressed with how McCray handled it out there. Like, she made a great stop. That one hop, she didn't hesitate. That transition, you know, if her throw is more in line with home and doesn't take Smith up the line, I think she might have a chance of getting her out there with how quickly she got it in.
Rodney McCray comes out. He's going to lift Jalen Ford. And a new pitcher for the Rise. 4-0 lead for the Spark on top of the third inning. We're just waiting for a new pitcher as Ford comes off. And it will be Courtney Weish to come on in relief to try and stop the bleeding. 4-0 Spark. We'll take a break on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Doc Gooden, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-4.
Courtney Weish comes on in relief and throws low, ball one to Michelle Moultrie. An RBI single by Chloe Malawalu makes it 4-0 as Weish comes on 2-1 on the year, a 3.40 ERA. Trying to keep this a 4-0 game, but skips outside and the count's 2-0. Jalen Ford started off the game with the first 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, walked 5, struck out 1. She's responsible for Malawalu over at first. And a strike poured in, 2-1.
Yeah, that's a great job there. You know, anytime you come into a game, it's always a little nerve-wracking. It's always nice to see pitchers sort of settle in and get that first strike, and it totally relaxes them.
Missed inside, 3-1. Weish pitched against Oklahoma City 2 weeks ago, went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. It was a 7-0 victory for the Spark. And delivers outside and walks the first batter that she faces.
Yeah, I love the explosion that I'm seeing out of her motion. She's really powerful and she's really attacking. Her timing looks to be just a little bit off with her hand as she's coming through to release. So I think if she can get that going a little bit more to match the speed in which her body is moving, I think she'll start to be able to find the zone a little easier.
Jada Coleman, a walk and a ground out in 2 at-bats. Skips off the glove of Smith, and going over to third is Malaulu. Slides in ahead of the tag. And might have taken a tough tag as well.
Yeah, it looked to be a little bit of an awkward slide. She kind of got stuck. It looked like did a little bit of a flop. Maybe knocked the wind out of her.
Well, let's take another look.
Oh, yeah. you could see the hands hit first instead of the body. And anytime your hands go down first, right, it's like a parking brake. It's going to kind of stop your momentum. Pretty dangerous to do.
Yeah, she slid faster than I think she's trying to. Amber Flores out there. Trying to give her a moment, and sometimes, of course, the best medicine is just time, but Malauulu is going to come off. Now, the one good thing about the re-entry rule is that she can be tended to now and come back in the game afterwards. So it looks like Oklahoma City is going to get a pinch runner.
Yeah, that was heads-up base running. She saw the ball in the dirt, and it kicked away from Smith back here, and she didn't even hesitate on her way to third.
And so it'll be Rachel Becker to pinch run over at third base.
Pinch running for OKC, number 15.
Becker, you see, from Oklahoma State. Handful of Cowgirls on this roster, and I know someone that you love her game as well.
Yeah, I do. I had the opportunity to coach her when I was at Purdue, and such an elite athlete, and one of the smartest people I know, too, getting her engineering degree while also, playing elite softball. Very impressive.
Count 2-0. Courtney Weiss trying to keep this a 4-0 game, but misses inside 3-0. The pitch, 3-1. Well, how about this stat? The third at-batter, third plate appearance for Jada Coleman. And the Rise have not even gone through a full turn in their lineup, as Kaylani Ricketts has been very solid so far, and it's just been that start so far for the Rise.
Yeah.
Hit up the middle, backhanded by Blampy. Nice play, fires to first to get the out. A run comes in as Becker touches up. That makes it 5-0, give the RBI to Coleman. And Moultrie moves over to third. There's two away.
What a great play by the second baseman. That's a hard hit ball. That's a hard play to stop and to make, kind of coming across her body. You saw a little bit like, oh, am I going to try to throw home there, knowing that wasn't the place to get an out, and being able to keep it on the infield and make that out.
Riley Boone attacks the first pitch. Room service hop to Lenny Malkin, takes it to the bag, and the inning is over. Two more runs for OKC. 2.5 in the books. 5-0 Spark on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. Bottom of the third inning here at Bill Edwards Stadium, and of course, welcome to New York. Get ready to shake it off tomorrow as it is Taylor Swift night here at Hofstra University, and of course featuring Totally Taylor, a tribute by Elizabeth Edquist. Adrian Clark, are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. I spent all day making some friendship bracelets, so I can't wait to hand them out.
All right, friendship bracelets. Trying to think of the other puns, but definitely a ton of Swifties here as well. And Ricketts has been exceptional so far for the Spark as she's thrown 2 scoreless innings. And now a 5-0 lead as Michelle Moultrie comes back in to the game. Or check that. It looks like
Becker staying in the game.
Yes, so Becker stays in the game. Yvonne Whaley moves over as well, as Whaley's now the right fielder
Number 99.
for Malawalu.
Sydney McCray.
And Becker goes over to short, so that's the changes there. It's always good to have a coach in the booth. You guys are on top of it.
Yeah. You just kind of know. I wish I had more to tell you other than when you're around the game long enough, you just see and you know.
And we'll see, obviously, with the reentry, maybe that's something that pops up later in the game. A 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City, especially when you got Ricketts on the mound. If you're Amber Flores, you're hoping that you don't have to re-enter her into the game, and you get Becker some experience at short, some playing time, and obviously moving Whaley over to right. Sydney McCray, good morning, good afternoon, good night, goes down swinging, second K for the OKC starter.
Number 50, Ashley Trierweiler.
Yeah, that's a hard pitch. A hard pitch for McCray to hit, low and out and, swinging kind of over top of it. As you're running through and slapping, you've got to be really mindful of the direction in which you're moving, trying to stay straight to the pitcher. If you pull off at all, you're not going to stand a chance at really trying to make contact with that ball.
Here's Ashley Trierweiler riding a 13-game hitting streak. Grounded out to first in her first at-bat. And ahead in the count, 2-0. Trierweiler, two-time All-WCC first-team selection, went 2 for 7 in the series against Oklahoma City. And the count 2-1.
Doing a good job of working the count here.
Slapped on the ground to short. Nice play by Becker, but a low throw. And Trierweiler's thinking extra bases. And as she pulls into second, should be a single and an error. But Trierweiler moves into scoring position after the nice pick by Becker, but not the best throw. And the Rise have a runner on second and one down.
Yeah, what a great stop. The best shot to getting that out is to charge the ball, and she did just that, putting herself in a position to have the chance to throw just a little bit wide.
Take a quick look as Jenna Lair takes outside for ball one.
Yeah, it looked a little bit too like the coverage at first stepped a little too soon. When you're receiving those balls, you have to make sure that you're staying put. Heads up play. Heads up play. Great bunt, but man, what a great job of letting that ball roll foul.
Well, it's the little things that make Sydney Sherrill over at third base the Defensive Player of the Year. There's Jenna Laird with a 1-1 count. And Trierweiler at second, a 5-0 lead for the Spark. Hit that way, easier play for Sherrill, and whips it across the diamond, 2 away.
The center fielder, number 25, Alex Honnold.
So here's Alex Honnold, one of the 2 Rise hits today. Or check that, one of the 3 hits now with the infield single earlier in the inning. Honnold now with hits in each of her last 3 games with that single in the first. As the pitch skips on the outside corner. 0-2. Rocking the fire. Up and in.
Kalani doing a great job here working, ahead in the count.
And popped up left side. Becker's under it, hauls it in. And the inning is over. An infield single and an error. Ashley Trierweiler is stranded at second. 3 scoreless innings for Kaylani Ricketts on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Bark at the Moon, top of the fourth. 5-0 lead for the Spark. As the New York Rise trying to get back in this one. Hey teams, let Varsity Media bring your games to life with our sportscast for multiple camera angles, play-by-play coverage, instant replay graphics, and more. Varsity Media is ready to broadcast your sport. Our YouTube channel has over 33,000 subscribers, 6 million views on our content. That's a lot of eyeballs to help you get noticed. Contact us today to learn more at varsitymedia.net or any social media channel at Varsity Media.
For OKC, the catcher, number 45.
Merrick Mayhem in the house, enjoying a softball game on a Monday night.
They brought their snacks. They brought their drinks.
I love that the teams bring their jerseys, too, to represent.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's so fun to see them, wear their colors and have pride in their team and look unified, too. And these neon jerseys, like, where were these when I was a kid?
I'm with you.
I would have loved to worn the hot pink one.
Me as well. I also feel that everything was just a hand-me-down back in the day.
Yep. You got whatever size was left or whatever number was available.
And I don't know how it was in softball, but definitely in baseball. Like, whoever the tallest kid was, that was the highest number. So it went from, 1 to 10.
Yes.
So the biggest kid in class was always number 10.
That's it. Yep. Size order, size of the jersey. Also, it went from, 1 to 15.
Right.
You see numbers that are 00, 99, 98. Those were not around.
And this is a silly question coming from me, but I've now seen it with a couple of teams in this league and obviously in college. I never knew that 66 was a softball number.
Yeah, I never knew half the numbers in softball or softball numbers. I think, what's really cool about the younger generation is that they just, they push the standards and they change things. And that change, while so simple, it allows them to have their personality or have a meaning behind it, right? Like, oh, my dad played football and his number was 66. And, I want my number to be 66.
Haley Lee drives it to deep center field. Honnold is there, jumps and makes the catch. She took an extra base hit away from Haley Lee for an exciting out number 1. How about this play? Had trouble in the gap a few innings ago, but looked like a pro here.
Not this time. She worked really hard to get to the fence. She was tracking the ball the whole time. Catching that ball definitely saved them a run there.
Lee vying for her 5th home run of the year, but Honnold says nay. And here's Alina Torres, 0 for 1 with a walk today. It's right back to the mound. A lot of English, but Weiss scoops it up and rifles to first. 2 outs.
Yeah, great job staying composed there. A little off balance. That ball was hit right off the end of the bat. That's why you see the umpire checking the ball, making sure that there's no scuffs on it. Obviously taking this one out, so it must have had a little damage to it. Now, that's also something that has changed. Usually you have a little scuff on the mark. You want to keep it, right? Times have changed a bit.
Here's Yvonne Whaley, a ground out and a walk as well against Jalen Ford, who started this game. Responsible for all 5 runs as Whaley shoots it foul. So you're the pro, and you obviously have a parking spot, obviously. But for the spectators that are coming to games and don't want to pay for a new windshield, your recommendations on where to park?
My recommendations are where to park are on the over by soccer. That would be my recommendation. Get far enough away to where you don't have to replace your windshield.
And a good walk after the game, obviously, if you're chowing down on some dogs or churros.
That's right. I saw even some cotton candy out here, too. I mean, why not get some steps in, round out the day?
Well, we're both ballpark snobs, so I'm with you with the ballpark food.
There's nothing better than hot dogs and popcorn. No one can tell me differently. One of my assistants and I, favorite thing to do is to go to Costco for the hot dogs.
Yeah.
Have you ever had them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. They have a card and everything.
Yeah.
I like BJ's for the cookies, though.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for that.
That's fair.
Whaley behind in the count, 1-2. A 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City. They've scored in their first 3 innings of play. Weiss trying to throw up a goose egg. Pitch, top foul.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. You know, she's come into this game, and with the exception of that walk she had when she first came in, she's commanding the zone, and she's getting them to mishit the ball. And as a pitcher, like, that's your objective, right? Like, you're not looking to get the strikeout while they're nice. Not everybody can be a strikeout pitcher, but she is coming in and she's getting them to mishit the ball.
Launched out to left. Treeweiler started out but comes in, makes the catch, and the inning is over. A 1-2-3 inning for Courtney Weiss. We're halfway home. A 5-0 lead for the Oklahoma City Spark on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Doc Ginn, and you're watching the New York Rise.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. A 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City. And you could see in there in the netting, and that's kind of a tough angle here, but a very happy birthday to New York Rise PA announcer Peter Schwartz, 57 years young. Of course, Mark Hamway in 1985, of course, one of his favorite players as well. He is, of course, the mayor of Islander Town over there, and I know the Yankees lost yesterday, so it wasn't his best birthday, but maybe you get some double chili tonight for Peter Schwartz, and a 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City as we get ready for the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, this is going to be a good inning, right? When you come last inning and the Rise were able to put a donut on the board, it's a little bit of a momentum shift, so we just need to try to string some hits together here.
Yeah, Kaylani Ricketts, 3 shutout innings, has given up 3 hits. And has left 3 on base with 2 strikeouts. Keeping score at home, and I don't know why you would be. Ashley Treeweiler's single in error is just converted to an error straight up, so make that 2 hits now for New York, as it'll be McKenna Smith, Sammy Williams, and Caroline Wong. 4-5-6 due up for the Rise.
You can see Smith here working hard to try to get underneath the ball, trying to get her body behind it. You know, a lot of what Kalani throws is down in the zone, and you want to be able to get on plane with that ball, stay in your legs, get behind it.
Well, Smith is on a 5-game hitting streak. She wore out the vibe. 5 for 9 with 3 RBIs. Carved on the ground to third. Cheryl's up with it. 1 out.
baseman, number 7, Sammy Williams.
So this will bring up Sammy Williams. Hit the ball on the screws last time, but right into the glove of Alina Torres at second. So a very loud 0 for 1. And first pitch changeup dips in, 0-1.
Yeah, you haven't seen her use that a ton yet. I like that she is throwing it in there early in the count.
On an in, 1-1. Williams, 3-time All Big 12 first team selection out of Iowa State. 3 for 8 against Florida with 4 RBIs. 1-1.
Oh, she's right on that pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if she went back to the changeup here because she is seeing the ball very well.
1-2. And Williams stays alive. Well, the Rise have done a good job putting the ball in play. They had a rough series against Oklahoma City where they struck out 23 times in 3 games. And Ricketts led the way with 11 strikeouts.
Yeah, well, already they're doing a great job of adapting to that, right?
Another opportunity for Sherrill, 2 down.
The designated player, number 66, Caroline Wong.
You know, one of the hardest things to do here and what you've seen in these last 2 batters is they've gotten jammed on that low and inside pitch, right? And prior to those pitches, she worked away. They need to anticipate that a little bit more. If they can turn their body a little faster, I think they can, you know, find a hole there in that 5-6 spot.
Yeah, and Wong had some production in her last at-bat, singled to center. As good as Ricketts has not thrown a 1-2-3 inning yet. And now falls behind 2-0.
This wind is nice. This breeze.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be 90 all week. Ricketts has retired 5 in a row as she gets Wong to ground out, and the inning is over. We go to the 5th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Roll over to the 5th inning, a 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City, and it's been all smiles. And why not? When you are on an 8-game winning streak, only 1 loss on the year, and you're sitting pretty with a 5-0 lead on a breezy night on Long Island. It has been the year of the Sparks so far, hoping to capture an AFP championship. That championship round will be next week down in Chattanooga and Oklahoma City. All but has locked up the 1 seed, obviously, if they can knock off the Rise in this series, and then they'll get ready for that as well. But Courtney Weish back out on the mound. Had a pretty simple inning last inning, retired the meat of the order, 3-4-5 in order. A fly out, 2 flyouts and a ground out. So Kaylani Ricketts steps up to the plate, a walk and a strikeout, and takes inside for ball 1.
Yeah, she's just looking to continue to do what she did last inning. You know, let her defense play, roll out ground balls.
Well, we know that Ricketts obviously is a fantastic two-way softball player. I'm curious, what are some of the benefits of a two-way player and obviously for herself, keeping herself engaged for the entirety of the game and not just one side of the field?
Yeah, being able to have two-way players, it's really awesome because they get to, do it on the mound, but then they get to see it in the box. And so they're able to, understand the game at a deeper level. It also allows you to be able to do more with the lineup other than the traditional sense of having to pinch, hit or DH for a pitcher.
It's now 6 in a row retired for Weish. And Sydney Sherrill, who doubled and came around to score in the third inning, steps up to the plate. First appearance against Weish. And Sherrill is 0 for 2 on the day. And takes strike one.
Yeah, and you're seeing some similar tendencies here, right? When Kalani was on the mound, she started off with a changeup to Sammy, who had, smoked that ball. Cheryl comes up. She had the double in her first at bat, and she started off with a changeup. So you're seeing some similarities there with the strategy of the game, trying to keep the hitters off balance.
Well, and the thing about Weish is she's got the velocity and has the stuff. It's just a matter of the command.
Yes. Sometimes we call that just wildly effective.
Right. Weish came in a 4-0 game, gave up a run, and since then has been all aces. Ooh. But now behind in the count, 3-1.
That was a great pitch, and what a great job behind the plate of trying to work really hard to get that strike for her pitcher.
Smith going out there to calm down Weish. And of course, the battery has not been too pleased with Adam Leap behind the plate. But Smith, like you said, the veteran, just keep cooler heads prevailing.
Yeah, I think there's one job that I wouldn't want to have, and I don't know that I'd want to be an umpire.
I'm with you. You're never right and always opposed against, and not an easy job as Sydney Sherrill works the walk. And a one-out base runner for the Spark. First base runner for OKC since the third inning.
Number 15, Rachel Becker.
And so now it'll be Rachel Becker's first at-bat of the game. She came on as a pinch runner for Chloe Malaolu, who took a tough slide into third base. Was lifted, so here is Becker from Lindenhurst, Illinois, and shoots it foul down the left field line.
Yeah, she sees the ball so incredibly well at the plate, and one thing that has allowed her to have so much success offensively is she's really in tune with what her body's doing. So when she's seeing the ball well and she's on time with her body, really, really good things happen for her.
Ahead 0-2 to Becker.
And that's a great job by Weiss, just attacking the zone.
Rocking the fire. One's line to left. It'll stay up for Treeweiler. Cheryl goes back to first, and there's 2 away. Well, Becker hit it right on the nose, but Treeweiler was perfectly positioned.
She did. I would have liked to see that pitch a little more down in the zone or a little more off, but when it's hit right at an outfielder, you still get the out the same way. So
Michelle Moultrie, infield single and a walk in 2 plate appearances. Attacks the first pitch and behind 0-1. When Moultrie was at Florida, she was named the SEC Player of the Year. And how about this for Moultrie? At the time, she was only the 4th player in Florida softball history to be named SEC Player of the Year. Of course, we know what she did in the World Cup, a gold medalist as well, and still playing all these years later. It's great to see.
Yeah, she paved the way. Florida, what most people don't understand is it's a younger program in the grand scheme of programs, and she was one of the first people to really kind of put the program on the map with the way that she played and the way that she carried herself.
Behind in the count 1-2, a 5-0 lead for Oklahoma City as Weiss trying to throw 3 scoreless innings. Up and in, runner goes, throw down to second. Laird the tag, not in time. Cheryl gets in just underneath the tag.
Oh, that's a close one. The ball looked like it definitely beat her to the base. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure about that one.
I'm with you on the throw getting there in time. It was just, I don't know if the tag was applied.
Yeah, the tag, the glove went up and then to the and then to the runner instead of just keeping it kind of low, going straight to the base. Yeah, I don't know. She did a great job. The foot just might have got in there a little bit.
Well, hit on the ground to short. Laird's up with it. And in that fact, Moultrie is retired, and the inning is over. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 5-0 OKC on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
Bottom of the 5th inning, a 5-0 lead for OKC over NYR. Adrian Clark, I'm John Perez, and it has been fun to watch Kaylani Ricketts on the mound so far, and of course 4 shutout innings, has struck out 2 batters and just allowed the 2 hits to the rise. And what has she done so well in the circle?
Staying in control, commanding her spots, keeping the ball low in the zone. Her misses, when they're missing, they're staying down. Those are really hard pitches to hit if you're not on time for them. So I love that she's mixed in the change to keep them off balance to some of the hitters that have, been more on time for her pitches. But she just has a presence about her out there that is very dynamic and in control.
Yeah, and it's been tough for the hitters for the rise so far. In fact, the last 9 batters have not hit the ball out of the infield. The last batter to do that is the one that's leading off right now, Linny Malkin, who flew out to right field in her only at-bat. 0 for 1 on the day. It's Malkin, Riley Blampede, and Sydney McCray, 7, 8, 9, due up against the southpaw for OKC. Carved right side, and Jada Coleman hauls it in. 2 pitches and 1 out. And so that'll bring up Riley Blampede. Struck out swinging in her first at-bat. And the count 1-0 to Blampede, who came into the game hitting .185 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Wave and a miss. 1-1.
Yeah, that's a really tough pitch. If she can just, keep her body a little more balanced there and work to get behind the ball, I think she'll be able to make the adjustment.
Now the count 1-2, and
Starting to get late for New York, and they'll have to make those adjustments quickly. Stays alive.
Yeah, I could see Kalani going even more out and low here, or maybe even coming in, because every other pitch before this has been outside.
Well, she does go on that outer half and blows a rise by her for her third strikeout of the evening.
The right fielder, number 99, Sydney McCray.
So 2 up, 2 down, and here's Sydney McCray, the 9-hitter. Struck out in her first at-bat.
Yeah, I was hoping she went to try to sneak a bunt for a hit in there. You know, with her speed and not getting too many runners on base, we got to mix things up a little bit. And seeing her, you know, have that heads up to do that is good.
Good slapper as well. Had 2 hits against Florida over the weekend. Goes the other way, but a room service hop, Rachel Becker, and the inning is over. 5 shutout innings for Kaylani Ricketts. We go to the 6th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
No hits, no errors.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Join us tomorrow night. Game 2 of this series, the Rise and the OKC Spark, coverage beginning at 6:45 p.m. on youtube.com/Varsity Media. Varsity Media will be the home for all the home games for the Rise this year. And with that said, here's the remaining homestand. All games of this series at 7 o'clock. And then over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. And then join us for a Sunday matinee, 1 p.m. on Sunday against the Chattanooga Steam before New York goes down to Chattanooga to try and capture the AFP Championship. You can watch all the games on youtube.com/Varsity Media. Top of the 6th inning. She's Adrian Clark. I'm John Perez. Courtney Weish back out on the mound. She has come on in relief and has been throwing zeros, at least to her ledger, and now deals to the top of the order for the first time tonight. Jada Coleman, Riley Boone, and Haley Lee for the Spark.
First baseman, number 22, Jada Coleman.
Coleman 0 for 2 with a walk. Attacks the first pitch and fouls it right back into the netting, 0-1. Coleman from the Colony, Texas. And is now 1 for 8 against the Rise this year with a single and a walk. Pulls back the bunt. 1-1.
Yeah, great idea to mix in the bunt for a hit there. Try to keep the defense off balance.
Check swing does not go around, says third base umpire Jake Rosano. Two one. Make it 3-1. Oklahoma City, a good, I don't want to call it non-conference schedule, but a non-league schedule, playing a couple of national teams playing Great Britain, Team USA, which is probably interesting as that's hit up to short. Jenna Laird throws out Jada Coleman for the first out. Of course, this is an OKC team that has a few players on Team USA, and one of them, the NCAA home run queen, Jocelyn Allo, who's not with OKC this weekend. And, of course, this week she's playing with Team USA, was just in the Japan series, now playing in Italy representing the Stars and Stripes. So I know I'm a little selfish here. I wish we could have saw Allo pitch, but great to have talent like that on your roster.
Yeah, I mean, she is a threat of a hitter, and I was equally a little bummed when I found out she wasn't going to be here, too.
Well, Riley Boone's here looking for her first hit, pops it up. Right side, Malkin and Smith, and it is Smith, the catcher, who couldn't make the catch. And that is just a strike. It was a tough angle, and then one thing that was off camera was that Malkin, I don't know if she tripped on the bat, but she definitely felt the bat.
Yeah, she looked like she stumbled a little bit there.
I've seen pop-ups be an issue on the right side of the infield, even in the first homestand. Foul tipped into the glove of Smith. Strike 3. 2 outs. First strikeout out of the pen for Weish.
Great job attacking the zone and keeping the hitter off balance. You could tell that the hitter didn't want to swing, and then she last minute, like, kind of threw her hands at it, poked at the ball, just trying to make something happen.
Haley Lee was robbed of a home run her last time up with a deep fly out to center. Alex Honnold making a leaping grab. Does have a 2 RBI double. That made it 3-0 in the second inning.
Coming up, hacking.
No, why not? When you've got 4 home runs on the season and 5 extra base hits. USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year a couple of years ago. Now behind in the count, 0-2. In the count 1-2. One, two. Ground to third. Williams bobbles. And the throw not in time, and Lee reaches aboard on the E5.
Yeah, she had that. You know, she fielded it cleanly, just lost it on the transfer there. Definitely an out that I think they could have had there.
The second error of the night for the Rise. And here's Alina Torres. 0 for 2 with a walk. Torres now hitless in 4 plate appearances against the Rise this year. Misses inside, ball 1. Yvonne Wiley would be next. And on the ground to first, Malkin smothers and taps the bag. Inning over. Go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-0 OKC on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Doc Ginn, and you're watching the New York Rise.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Lighting up the night here at Bill Edwards Stadium, and they're hoping that the Rise's offense lights up as well, but Kaylani Ricketts has been lights out for OKC so far. And with that said, another opportunity to thank our sponsors here today as well. Good friends at Hofstra, New Balance, Wilson, Azuri Transportation, Vincent's Clam Bar of Long Island, Erica Cole Salon, as well as Polsky Sports and Entertainment, Print Station, Petra Matrix, and Lululemon. We appreciate all you do to help support pro women's softball in New York. Rise up. There's Kaylani Ricketts back out on the mound, and sometimes you could feel like a shark when there's blood in the water. That's Kaylani Ricketts so far. She has been cool, calm, and collected.
Yep, staying on the attack, just making things happen, making the ball dance.
Allowed just 2 hits through 5 shutout innings, and only been 3 base runners overall. There was the E6 to Ashley Treeweiler her last time up. Treeweiler with a couple of ground balls and looking to spark a rally. It'll be the top of the order for the Rise. Treeweiler, Jenna Laird, and Alex Honnold.
Yeah, this is where we need to they need to make things happen, right? When you get the top of the lineup, this is where you can, start to turn the lineup over a little bit more effectively.
Count 1-0 to Treeweiler from Belmont, California, Santa Clara, and Grand Canyon. NFCA All-West Region team last year, and dunks it down the left field line, and she's smelling extra bases as Ashley Treeweiler skips into second with a 2-bagger.
That's a great job. Great base running. Great piece of the ball. Didn't hesitate. It's exactly what the Rise need here to get something going.
Let's take another look, but good piece of hitting by Treeweiler.
Perfectly placed right on the line.
And so here's Jenna Laird, 0 for 2 on the day. Shows bunt and bunts it left side. Cheryl was all over it, makes the play. 1 out.
Great job by getting the bunt down there by Laird.
Interesting, a sac bunt down 5 in the bottom of the 6th. What's the thought there?
I was actually thinking the same thing. My guess is she was looking to do more of a bunt for a hit, show it a little bit later. I think she showed it a little too soon. I would like to think that maybe they weren't trying to sac bunt. Maybe she was trying to bunt for a hit. That's something that she's used in her arsenal throughout her collegiate career, because she can hit for power and she can drop a bunt down, making it really hard for the defense to figure out a way to play her.
Here's Alex Honnold, 1 for 2 on the day. Right back to the box. Ricketts checks the runner and flips it to first. 2 down. This is the first time at the Rise have had a runner on third tonight. And here's McKenna Smith, hitless in 2 at-bats. Smith attacks the first pitch. Ricketts picks it and then throws it over the glove of Coleman for the E1 as Treeweiler comes in. And perhaps a little luck for the Rise as they get their first run of the board.
Third baseman, number 7, Sammy.
Yeah, that's not something you typically see, from Kaylani or the defense. Fielding her position very well, just a little high on that throw.
So Sammy Williams hits it to deep right field, chasing back Whaley, and she makes the play. Yvonne Whaley started the game at short, now out in right field. makes the tough play, and the inning is over. But the Rise get a run back as we go to the 7th. 5-1 OKC on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome you back to the top of the 7th inning. 5-1 lead for Oklahoma City. And we'll get a new pitcher as well for the Rise. And these young fans trying to rally their team back into this one. And double play doing his job as well. Maria Lopez takes over for the Rise. Lopez, one of the better pitchers for the Rise. 4-1 on the year, a 2.47 ERA.
Yeah, I like this idea, too, of mixing a lefty in. You know, really try to throw the hitters off, especially coming from Weiss. She was really throwing hard, attacking the zone. This is. I like this idea. I think this is going to be good to keep them off balance.
Well, and a nice backflip by double play. Finally, we were waiting forever for him to do something.
I know.
And let's see if we got a shot of Maria Lopez, who's pitching for the 3rd time against the Spark this year. Got the start in Game 1 last week. Only went 2 innings. Allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, but threw a scoreless inning in Game 3 and now asked to throw a scoreless inning in Game 1 of the series. The Utah Ute. She'll deal to 5-6-7 due up for the Spark. Yvonne Wiley, along with Kaylani Ricketts and Sydney Sherrill. Wiley bunts it, hits off her front foot. Looks like she was in fair territory, but plate umpire Andrew Leap says that was while she was in the box, so the count just 0-2.
Yeah, she's using a timing swing here in her stance. It's something, a technique you see some hitters do to try to really make sure they're getting on time. But if you saw this, the last time, she just kept it out there and bunted it. So kind of throwing off the hitters if every time you're pulling back, but then you don't.
Whaley pulls back the swing in the count 1-2. Whaley a couple of ground outs and a walk. Behind in the count 1-2. On the ground to second from a knee on the backhand. Blampede, 1 down.
Yeah, that's another great stop by her, staying down on that ball. You know, what I see a lot of defenders sometimes do when you're going to that backhand side is they want to pull up to make the throw, but she didn't do that, right? She stayed down, secured the ball, and then made a beautiful throw.
The exception of the error in Game 2 of the homestand against the Vibe last time, she's been solid in the field, Blampede. And you want to be strong up the middle, obviously, as Kaylani Ricketts behind in the count 0-1. Ricketts a walk, a strikeout, and a ground out, 0 for 2.
Starts at 66.
1-1. And now Ricketts ahead 1-2. Well, we mentioned the accolades for Ricketts. How about this stat, too? She's only one of 3 players in NCAA history to win 100 games, strike out 1,000 batters, and hit 50 home runs in her career.
Yeah, that is not something you hear every day.
A wave and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's so hard to do, right? Pitching is hard enough on its own from a mental and emotional standpoint, let alone be able to do it both sides of the ball. For her, it's something that works for her.
Especially because you're pitching multiple times in a series. More times than not.
Absolutely, right? You're facing the same opponents. You're, having to reset, especially on those innings when she hits and she gets on base. If you can't utilize a pinch runner in that scenario, now she's having to run the bases and then come in and being able to flip that switch so fast, it has to be like a light switch, right? You have to turn it off. You have to turn the pitching on, and you got to be ready to go.
And I wonder, as a coach, a lot of recruiting is projecting what they can be at the next level. When you get a player like Ricketts, is that something where you're talking to her and saying, okay, well, eventually I'll have to pick one side of the ball, or do you just see where she goes?
No, not with someone like that that's dynamic and that wants it, right? When you have people that want to hit and pitch and do it at an elite level and are willing to put the same amount of work in for both skills, you embrace that and you continue to challenge them and see what they can do. And when they make it happen and they get the job done, then you monitor it, right? You support them and you sort of manage what's going on as the season progresses.
Amber Flores goes over to Andrew Leap. Looks like we'll get a courtesy runner for Ricketts. And so Ricketts will come off and he pops out of that dugout, trying to add some speed in an insurance run against Maria Lopez, who comes in for Courtney Weish. Went 3 2/3 innings of relief. No runs on 2 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. As it'll be Riley Bayless out of Kansas City, Missouri, and Oklahoma State to run at first. Cheryl lays off and on appeal. It is ball 1. Cheryl 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Stolen base as well. Count 1-1. Topped on the ground to third. Williams goes the short way and gets the lead runner. Bayless at second.
Yeah, that's a great play. Great heads-up play. Tough ball. As the speed and direction of the ball, it was slower and pulled her so far off that she had to get it and get rid of it quick in order to secure that lead out. As you can tell, it was almost a very close play.
Yeah, Bayless has a lot of speed. That's why Flores put her in there. And now here's Rachel Becker. Hit it hard last time, but lined out to the left fielder, Treeweiler, in her only at-bat against Courtney Weish. And stunts it foul, 0-1. Looking ahead in the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be 6, 7, 8 due up for the Rise. Caroline Wong, Linny Malkin, and Riley Blampede. Rise hoping that they're only down by 4 in their last licks, and there's a wave and a miss. And foul tipped into the glove of Smith. And count 0-2 to Becker. One, 2. In the air, left center field, drifting back Treeweiler. Under it, makes the catch. Inning is over. The Rise look to rally in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 5-1 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
Well, that New York Rise dugout looking for a rally. And it'll be 6, 7, 8 due up. Caroline Wong, Linny Malkin, and Riley Blampede up against Kalani Ricketts, who has been masterful so far, just the one unearned run. And looking for another complete game. Will not have the 11 strikeouts, but either way, has been efficient so far. And Adrian Clark, I'd have to imagine if you're the Rise, it's one batter at a time.
It's one batter at a time, one base at a time. You know, while you would love to be able to push it, you also want to make the most of the opportunities you have left.
And so for Caroline Wong, a good debut as well. The DP 1 for 2, single to center in her first at bat, and then grounded out to Ricketts back at the circle. We mentioned Wong, a good addition, and another catcher taking the place of Mary Iacopo, who was only signed for 2 weeks, and now Wong will be the backup catcher DP for the final homestand, and attacks the first pitch, hits it in the air to left field. Drifting over is Riley Boone, makes the catch for out number 1.
The first baseman, number 22, Linny Malkin.
She got a good piece of that ball. She seemed to be more on time.
And so now here's Linny Malkin, hitless in 2 at-bats. Malkin, a lot of power. She just, unfortunately, the hits have not been coming for her. But a lot of potential there, and, you know, when you're going in the slump, sometimes it's just like that.
Well, you know, I love, she's been super aggressive up until this at-bat. She's only seen 3 pitches. So for her, I think being able to see more pitches is going to put her in a better chance to get more on time, because she hasn't necessarily been on time in her last 2 at-bats. Also, later in the game, you want to make the pitcher work, right? You want to get the best possible pitch you can hit and be ready to hit it.
You can still see the movement from Ricketts as well, as she just continues to miss barrels.
Yes.
And even just soft contact as Malkin fouls it off. And you see Adam Leap looking and see if there is a scuff on the softball, and I think umpires, for good measure, just toss it aside nowadays anyway.
Yeah.
One, two coming. Just missed on the inside corner. 2-2.
Yeah, that's a great take. I think that was a pitch earlier in one of her at-bats where she got a little jammed up on because, you know, it was a borderline pitch.
Well, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Check swing. Did she go? No, says first base umpire John Cambridge. It's a walk. And a much-needed base runner for the Rise as Malkin reaches.
Yeah, that was a great job there. I would even, you know, look to see if they put in a pinch runner here. Try to get some speed on the bases. It looks like they are.
And it'll be Kayla Wadle, the speedy infielder from Chicago.
Number 6, Kayla Wadle.
Waddle out of the University of Illinois, Chicago. In and out of the starting lineup in left field, but now at first base. As here's Riley Blampede. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And Ricketts misses for ball 1.
I love this adjustment for Blampede in the box. She's going to the timing swing. She hasn't had success on that low and outside pitch. So seeing her make this adjustment for herself, I think it could really change the game for her and allow her to make some solid contact here.
1-1 to Blampede. Trying to keep the line moving, but waves through that one, 1-2. Just stays alive.
Yeah, another thing, that she could consider doing here in this situation, Kalani has not thrown her a single inside pitch, crowding the plate a little bit, really, trying to put her in a position to handle that outside half.
1-2. Carved foul. On something like that, is that where you want the player themselves to figure it out? Is there a signal that comes in?
I think it just is different with each player. When you have players that are really cerebral, sometimes they come to that conclusion for themselves. Other times you might have to give them that cue, right? If they're lost in their emotion of what's going on in the game, or the struggles of, as you said before, being in a little bit of a slump, you might need to give them that reminder, hey, don't forget, you've got other tools in the toolbox. Why don't you try crowding the plates at this at bat?
Well, Blampede goes down looking. That's the 4th strikeout for Ricketts, and the Rise are down to their final out as Sydney McCray spoils it foul. 0-1.
And even that at bat, right? She wasn't anticipating the off speed there. Everything that Kalani had thrown her up into that point, and you sometimes have to tip the cap to the pitcher for being able to mix it up the way that she is.
Misses the bunt, and now the Rise are down to their final strike. Kaylani Ricketts, undefeated coming into the game today, looking for her 5th win of the season. The 0-2, hit on the ground to short. Becker's up with it, fires to first, and the inning is over. And the game is over. Oklahoma City wins it 5-1 as Kaylani Ricketts goes the distance to pick up her 5th victory of the year. She's now 5-0 as the Sparks score 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and the third. As Oklahoma City continues with the good times rolling. They've won 9 in a row, a 5-1 victory on the road against New York. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll speak to New York Rise founder Jeff Ahn about everything that's going on with the Rise here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or Call 516-403-2050.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
It's a final here at Bill Edwards Stadium. Oklahoma City knocks off New York 5-1 in Game 1 of the series. But, of course, it is the first game of a long homestand this week, and we are pleased to be joined by New York Rise founder Jeffrey on the Big Cheese. This is your whole culmination. And, Jeff, now 4 home games in the books, obviously late in the season, but to see your vision play out, what has the feeling been in the Rise community?
Yeah, I mean, I wish we could have taken a W here with this crowd here. It was nearly sold out today. Tons of energy, tons of club team players. We had Bill Pulsar throwing out the first pitch. Our mascot double play was in full effect, so as usual. Double play is always in full effect. No, listen, it's not about the winning or losing this season. We try to put a good product on the field. The players are, they're giving 110% all the time. We tried to mix it up a little bit with the positions. We added Caroline Wong, who's a catcher from Oklahoma State, to fill in for another catcher that had to leave for other reasons. But this team plays hard. We did come off a 3-game stretch in Florida. We got delayed in Tampa trying to fly out of there, and I'm not making excuses, but I mean, this is the grind. This is the grind of the rest of the season. So we got, we did the 3 games in Florida. We got 6 out of the next 7 days. We got games, and we go ahead right into the postseason. So that's what this roster's been built for, is some depth. You saw 3 of our pitchers tonight. We have a 6-pitcher rotation, and so we know the Spark are going to be tough. So unless we play a very clean game and provide energy on the base paths and put the ball in play, it's tough. I mean, we just didn't see Kalani Ricketts, and a lot of teams don't see Kalani Ricketts that well. There's a reason she's a 2-time College Player of the Year. Yeah, right?
But you must be proud with how they continue to compete. They're competing hard, and they have beat the Spark before, right? And
yes.
So, what did they do then, and what do they need to do in the next couple of games to be able to get that W?
It's a good point. I think we need to clean it up a little bit, but we're built on defense and speed, and we have a couple people that could just pop it out. So I think the team they're just very confident. I don't think any of them think about the last game or how it went. They'll go back into the locker room. They'll sign autographs tonight, and they're going to come in tomorrow super confident. And Crash does a great job with the coaching staff, keep them focused on the next challenge at hand.
Yeah, so he definitely brings the energy.
He's a little different.
Yeah, I
he's
love
unique,
it.
And we love him for that. And he's awesome with the team here.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, the last time we saw the Rise in person was here, and it was a 3-game sweep of the Vibe, and the Vibes have not been great, obviously, with the losses on the road. But with that said, you wouldn't know that based off of this team and their chemistry. I'm curious, as an ownership group and building a team, how much team chemistry and bonding went into the selection of these players.
It's all about that. I mean, there's a reason we selected 3 from Missouri. We had 3 from Arkansas coming in, 2 that were connected with Grand Canyon. And then a lot of the other players, even though they were not playing with each other in college, they know each other. It is a small community of college players. They do know each other really, really well. But it really is no egos coming into this. That's what we were looking for. We were also looking for players that just really wanted to play softball and try to grow the sport. It wasn't all about the statistics and the home runs. It was looking for proper fit in terms of and real interest and alignment to try to do this in New York.
Yeah, and Jeff, you're a father, obviously, and what does it mean to see all of these young players, young softball players, even young baseball players coming to games and getting autographs, getting wrapped up in the atmosphere, and having just a good time at the ballpark?
I think that's what this whole thing is about. There's a reason why all the players right now are lining up to give autographs. They want to build this in New York. They want the 12-year-old, 12U player that's watching them play and say, hey, I want to be the next, Sammy Williams or the next Jenna Laird. And that's why they're doing this now. And it really drives them. They love it. I mean, they feed off of that, absolutely.
And one more before we let you go. There's a lot coming up this week. For the folks that are watching at home, they want to come out to a game. Jeff, give them the pitch. Why should they come out to Bill Edwards Stadium?
It's different. This is coming from a Mets fan that loves baseball. This is different. There's a lot. It's a different kind of a feel. It's a faster game. It's more hands-on. I mean, this venue is electric. I mean, the bleachers here actually add to the effect and the sound. I just think it's like must-see entertainment if you're doing this. Obviously, you got Varsity Media doing a great job on TV, but if you're 10 minutes away from East Meadow, come out and check out a game.
Yeah, and we have the hot dog toss. So who doesn't want a free hot dog?
Let the dogs out.
Right.
That's a staple here. Before we go, I just want to say thank you to Coach Adrienne Clark. She's been super helpful in helping us do this. I always give her a call, and she's always there to help us out. And it is my son's birthday, so I do want to say happy birthday to my son today. I know I've been around softball a ton, but still a dad also for my son, and I want to wish him a happy birthday as well.
What a day out there. I mean, we get a Rookie of the Week, possibly Rookie of the Year edition here as well. Young On's birthday out there as well. So how old now?
He's 16. Got 16. His permit today. So
wow, that's a big deal.
Maybe I'll drive a car with him tomorrow. We'll see.
Nice.
All right. Well, hey, now you can get the Porsche. You can get the Escort out there as well. Jeff, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good to be on.
Well, that'll do it for our entire coverage here. Be tuned in tomorrow night. It's Taylor Swift night at the ballpark as well, but coverage beginning at 6:45 on Varsity Media, Game 2 between the Spark and the Rise. So that'll do it for our entire crew, led by our EP Ben Turchin, for Chris Sweeney, and our camera operators Ron Pierre, Mike Verdi, and Kevin Catalanato. My partner, Adrienne Clark. This is John Perez saying so long from Bill Edwards Stadium. This has been a presentation of AFP Softball on the Varsity Media Sports Network.